What is up, fellow summoners, and welcome to the channel today to another Alliance War gameplay video. This was 2 Loki's most recent Alliance War over the weekend. I recorded against, is it SIN6 Jackal, I think? It's a 12.1 million rated Alliance. We are still in Tier 2, trying to make a push to get back up into Tier 1. I'm going to be using my kind of normal team setup here for the path that I'm running, which is Magic and Winter Soldier, and then I bring Yondu along for the Thorns node, which, depending upon what happens with the new changes in Alliance War that are coming soon, I may switch this team up entirely. I don't know really what's going to happen, so this may be one of the last few times you see an Alliance War with this particular setup. But having said that, it's a good war. It's a very close war, comes right down to it, and I had some just terrible luck this last week in playing both AQ and AW on the live streams at night. I don't know what it was, man. The timing of parry I felt like was just a little bit off, and for whatever reason I was having some real struggles with it. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to stop doing this live stream. I'm going to try to record this war here, see if I can't play any better, get some decent footage to show you guys, and thankfully things do go smoother. Now I will say, this is a perfect spotlight, this fight and one other one, which I'll kind of go back and show. But right here, look at this Limbo damage that ticks back. 9,600 was the regen that came back to me. And people that say that you don't need Magic Awakened, I would beg to differ. Anybody else in that spot would have either died or you'd be left with like 4,000 or 5,000 health. But Limbo kicked in, saved my butt, also does damage back to him. I'd be very curious, I'm not going to do it here, but to actually go back and just count the amount of damage that is done purely by Limbo, just ticking every time you go into a special bar of power. My magic is at level 81, I believe, which would be somewhere around 45, 50-ish for a 4-star. And that thing ticks all the time. Now, here in this node, I was kind of thinking it might be like a Mordo or a Rhino. I see Rhino quite a bit here, and it turns out to be a Magic. Just watch this damage. She just melts my face away with this Limbo. I don't know what signature level this is, but it is up constantly. Plus, I continually am getting the Fury buff, which is fueling her Limbo even further. What I'm thinking is I'm going to get to an S3. I'm going to wait till Limbo is not up and fire that thing off, and I completely forget that there is a timer here, and you'll see me, I should have used my special. I was not even thinking about it, and I lose all of that, so it really puts me in a rough spot because I'm just continually feeding her power. Basically, I'm trying to get to a special so I can try to put a bleed on her when she doesn't have a Limbo up, and look at this right here. Oh my god. I thought for sure I had her, and Limbo saved her there at the very end. But just look at that. I didn't take a single hit, and I've got maybe 20% of my health left. That's only a 4-star. It just further makes me want to take even my 4-star up to 550 so that I've got 2 magics that I can use in war. One on offense, one on defense, and maybe just both of them on defense, depending upon how this new Alliance War setup goes. I'm thinking about that fight as I go here, and I completely forget this is an unblockable S2. I'm basically just standing there. You should have seen me. I almost wish I'd have done that fight live, because at this point, like, I'm just laughing because I was totally spaced out on what this fight was, and I completely ate that one. But yeah, not running suicides or anything, so that S2 didn't do a lot of damage. He didn't have his Fury buff up, so I was able to pretty much just eat that one and come out of there with most of my health intact. Not too difficult at all. I have no excuse on that one. I don't know where my mind was at. I guess, just focusing on the previous fight. Anyway, so we're gonna move up now. We're about 3 fights. Yeah, 3 fights deep. This is the stun immune node. I pretty much always like to use Magic here. If it's not Nightcrawler, it's almost always somebody who's got Mystic Dispersion. And usually if it's not Nightcrawler, it's Jugs like you see here. And I really like using Magic for the lockdown, not having to worry about him ever going into his unblockable ability. Because that's the big thing. If he goes unblockable and is pushing you back into the corner, you're just constantly you know, trying to evade, feeding them more and more power. And did you see that? Did you see that S1? That thing reached so far. I even evaded it and it still caught me. But once again, Limbo, for the second time now, saves me. I think it was like 6,000 damage it gave me back. So between both of my Limbos, just from those 2 hits, one with Nightcrawler, one with Juggernaut, we're talking like 16,000, 17,000 regen that I've gotten back. But outside of that, this fight goes pretty smoothly. When you've got them locked down like that, you can push them back into the corner, do the 4-hit intercept, and that's the way that I personally like to do it. Nightcrawler is the one issue there. You can't obviously do that with him, but anybody else, if you've got magic, you can do that with. Now we got the Thorns node. We've got Yondu here, and usually if this is a mutant, if this is Cyclops, or it's Iceman, I do really well. But whenever it's a Mordo, for some reason, I mess up. I don't know what it is about Mordo. But I thought, you know what? Instead of being a little bit more passive, I'm going to try to just be as aggressive as I possibly can and get as many debuffs on him as I can. Push him to an S3. So right now he's got 4 debuffs, 4 weaknesses, which means that, you know, this S3 is really, it doesn't hit very hard normally, but it's really not going to hit very hard because of all that weakness. But in this way, I can just play aggressive, not worry about trying to bait out specials. Just going to go after him here. I love having that heal block up with those suicides. He's just eating all that poison damage. Just keep using that S1 over and over again. Get the heal block again. It's taking away for 92. Attacking into him while he's blocking. I'm able to add a bleed, and it's over. Now, I mean, I still took about 50% damage, which that is a, you know, all from Thorns plus a little bit of the S3. But honestly, I think that's the way to do it. If you're going up against the Mordo on there and you have Yondu, don't try to bait out specials. I would say just be as aggressive as possible. Try to get as many bleeds and heal blocks from the S1 on him as you can, so that when you do finally push him into his S3, it won't be really hardly anything. Now, shout out to Joel 8810. I'm not really sure. I was kind of wanting to use my magic there because I thought it might be Hyperion, but I thought, you know what, let me just see what damage I can do with Winter Soldier, and I'll clean it up with magic. That way I'll still have magic for the mini-boss. Turns out that it's Mordo. I don't typically ever see Mordo on this one, and for whatever reason, he is very cooperative. I do get the power drain there, but he's just throwing his specials, and if he's going to be throwing his specials, I really have no issue at all with this fight. We've got 1 bleed there, ticking at 262. It's pretty good damage. Yeah, right here, I don't know what he's doing. Pretty much just standing there. I thought for sure at any moment here he's going to fire off the S3. He does, and I thought it was going to kill me. But honestly, you'll see I had nothing on him. Yeah, it's hardly anything. What is that, 3,000 damage from a 550. I can't remember if this node has got any boosted attack or not. But I really like Mordo as a defender. He can be a pain, but at the same time, I honestly think the best way to do it is just push him right into that S3. Don't mess around with trying to bait out all those other specials. If he's not going to give them to you, just push him into an S3, and most of the time you're going to be able to survive it. So that was 2 Mordos in a row, and now I'm going for my 3rd. This time around, I am going to use magic. I considered using Yondu. I thought, you know what, maybe just try to use Yondu. Do as much damage as I can, and then finish it up with magic. Was contemplating it a little bit, but I decided, no, we'll just go in. We'll play the normal S2 lockdown game, hopefully get him over into the corner, and that's exactly kind of what happens here. Shout out to my teammates. Thank you for getting him down under 50% health. I did get the lucky hit there coming out of the parry stun. I don't always get that timing right, but thankfully it worked out for me. So right now, I'm just trying to get to my S2 before that power drain on myself kicks in. We get it. I should have baited out right there and used another special one just for the damage, but it's okay. We're playing the 4-hit dash back intercept, and goes perfectly. That's really all you got to do. If you can lock down, you can control any fight outside of somebody who's got an evade like Spider-Man and Nightcrawler. And for those reasons, if you can name a better Alliance War offensive character, go ahead. I'll take Magic over whoever you name anytime. Now, unfortunately, I also get the kill here on the final boss. I think I took out the last 40,000 damage, but I wasn't able to get it on, wasn't able to record. I just was away from my computer at the time. So ultimately, that leads into us getting the victory. As you can see, we did come out just ahead by about 5,000 points, which it looks like most of that was wrapped up in the exploration. And there we are at number 3. I don't typically ever find myself on the leaderboard, but I did today. It'll be very interesting to see when they have these new rewards come out for, you know, how many kills you get, how many on defense and offensive. Personally, they're going to give out gold and all that stuff, and the MVP that they're going to be passing out. I know that there's a lot of hesitation and people kind of concerned, and I have my concerns, rightly so, for the new Alliance War. But at the same time, I am looking forward just to seeing something new. We 2 wins in a row gets us back up over 2,000 in our Alliance War rating. Again, we're just trying to push back up into Tier 1. We were there for a little bit, and then we kind of had some movement in the Alliance, people coming in and out. But hopefully things will stabilize here soon, and we'll be able to push back up into Tier 1. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video footage. If you have any questions, you're welcome to leave them down in the comment section below. Follow me over on Twitter. You can ask questions there. Also, you'll be able to know when I will be going live. I shoot out tweets there, so do follow me. Alright guys, until I see you in the next video, thank you so much for the support. As always, have a great day.